the High Commissioner of New Zealand. I do also acknowledge First Secretary Ms. Christine Conway. Ladies and gentlemen, Sambul Vinaka and a very good afternoon to you all. Excellency, I am aware that today's handover is your first official visit to the Ministry of Rural and Maritime Development and Disaster Management, but I again convey my sincere apology for bringing you here, but I'm doing it deliberately. I wanted to show you some of the work, or most of what you will see here is by New Zealand. So that is why I intended to have this here. I'm confident that under your leadership, Excellency, and guidance, we will continue to further strengthen our partnership built by your predecessors. Excellency, over the years, New Zealand and Fiji have cooperated bilaterally as well as on the regional and multilateral fronts on a number of pressing global issues, and you have always responded generously in our hour of need. New Zealand has particularly been one of the major partners of Fiji on the disaster risk management front. Your partnership has allowed us to meet targets set out in the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, and particularly in our national disaster risk reduction policy. Excellency, while these achievements are recognized at the global, regional, and national forums, it is the direct impact of your assistance through the NDMO to the disaster-affected individuals, families, and communities at the hour of need is what Fiji is truly thankful for. Some of these disaster risk management initiatives supported by New Zealand are the upgrade of our divisional and national warehouses. You will see it directly behind you. The provision of emergency rescue boats, which we will see after this. One is in the naval, Stanley Brown Naval Base, and of course awaiting parts as well. The provision of tsunami sirens, the provision of water quality test kits, towable water tanks and hydraulic winch, the provision of humanitarian supplies during emergency response, and the deployment of technical advisors to assist the NDMO, including the funding of critical positions inside the NDMO. Excellency, we are indeed grateful for all the support rendered so far, and at this juncture, I must also acknowledge your esteemed staff from the High Commission for their continuous communication and coordination with the NDMO to ensure government priorities in DRR are met. Today's handover is a true manifestation of this collaboration, and the items handed over today, including the VHF analog repeaters, power supply units, antennas, feeder cables, handheld radios, and other accessories worth over $40,000 Fijian is sincerely appreciated. I assure you, Excellency, that anything on communication excites me. Given my background, without communication you cannot command. And this simplifies some of the challenges and hopefully will make things easier for us when we want to respond to the communities. This provision of redundant communication is imperative in our emergency preparedness and planning. It will not only upscale NDMO's emergency communication capabilities, but also ensure the effective dissemination of messages at the height of any event. Therefore, I take this opportunity to sincerely express, on behalf of the Fijian government, the Honorable Prime Minister and the Acting Prime Minister, NDMO staff and the people of Fiji, our heartfelt gratitude. Excellency, we look forward to continue this collaboration and further strengthen our collective efforts in DRR. Thank you.
Very delighted to be here today and to share this partnership with Fiji and to the provision of the communications equipment. Minister, I wish we didn't, but we have a shared history and vulnerability to natural disasters. We are island nations. We know and we share earthquakes, we share tsunami, we share flooding. At all of these times, and we share volcanic eruptions too, and I think last week's events in Tonga have really reinforced that at times of crisis, when you are wanting to communicate, being able to talk to teams in the field is really your first line of response to inform what communities need on the ground. And so we are absolutely delighted to be part of that partnership with Fiji. Like you, we have walked through a number of challenging natural disasters at home in recent times, and I know that this is a platform for co-learning between New Zealand and Fiji. Because we are all in this waka together, he waka eka noa, which in te reo means we all are in the waka together. And any tools that we can use so that we can talk between our waka, I think, are helpful. And so we very much look forward to continuing this partnership, not just with the communications, but also, of course, in vital prepositioning of supplies and making sure that we have warehouses and disaster infrastructure that is climate resilient. Because even though we share this destiny, we still know, and even though we're navigating through COVID times, we also still know that climate change remains the single biggest threat to our security and livelihoods here in this part of the world. So we were talking, Christine and I also were talking to the Minister of Health this morning as well, in terms of making sure that as we work on our partnerships and we work on our cooperation in natural disaster response, that we're also doing that with a climate resilience lens that's informing our thinking, making sure that we have facilities and equipment that will get us through the next set of challenges to come, which we know will come, but we know that if we face them together, we come out of them on the other side better. And can I just take this opportunity to say, I've only been in Fiji for 4 weeks. I have already been tremendously impressed by the resilience of Fijian people. And what I saw over the weekend and in response to Cyclone Cody as well has really demonstrated to me that I am in for a very enriching time in Fiji, watching the resilience and the collaborative spirit of the Fijian people, and we're very pleased to be part of that partnership. So vinaka vakalevu from us as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you once again.